babies, it's that time again. Oh yeah. We are loving it, baby. The summer is coming to an end. Another school year will be upon us. But right now we're focusing on you and what it is I can do to help you grow in your spirituality. And hopefully you can do the same for me. And one of the ways I think we can do that is by keeping the conversation alive between us and God. And by that I simply mean try to stay conversant with God throughout the day, talking to Him or her, whatever your preference, so that you get used to waiting for a response. Because I think we get caught up in our own patterns of mind and behavior to the point where we push God out. We don't really make opportunity to hear, listen, and respond. So if we're in a continual mode of conversation, then we're kind of setting ourselves up for growth by looking for a response, even if all we're doing is just chatting. So I know some of you may think, well, God's too busy to be chatting with me. And I would say, no, that's not the right attitude. It's better to think of God as delighting in chatting, because it logically would follow that the one who has done everything to give us everything would also want to share with us everything. And when we do that, we nurture our sensitivity to hearing and perceiving what it is He wants to communicate. So in this way, you nurture a God-ordained communication as opposed to a human one that tends to default to either complaints or demands or requests, almost like, God's like a genie in a bottle. And that's no way to nurture an eternal relationship. So we let the one who knows best, who knows right from wrong, and who knows what will work optimally for us, we let Him determine the parameters of our discussion, what the content is, what the attitude is, what the state of mind and presence of mind is. So you might think, well, that sounds all nice and dandy, but how can we actually do that? How do we know what we're doing is the right thing? And to that question, I always answer the same way. we know we're hearing God when we apply what we believe He is saying, and it yields the fruit of His character. That's how we know. It's also how we know what isn't His word, which comes to us in fruitlessness and frustration and complaining and whining and all of those kinds of things. So yeah, God doesn't want us to be like guessing and wondering of, gee, I hope I'm doing the right thing. How do I know I'm doing the right thing? What do I need to do for it to be a sure thing? Then we always need to look at how we're growing, how we're thinking, how we're feeling. Is there anxiety usually present? Is love our most important goal? And when we can measure those things, then we know that we're in the Spirit of God. We're working within His parameters. And that's what we need, that's what we want, that's what we love. That's what sets us free. That's what makes us whole. And that's where the joy is. And it's not a manufactured joy. It's God's joy. And that's the beauty of this journey, is we have evidence here of eternal values. And so I encourage you just to try to be more conversant with God throughout the day. Whatever it is you're thinking, put it in His direction. Say it to Him. And then wait for a response. And if you don't get a response, or you're not perceiving a response, don't worry about it. Just keep the conversation going. And the more you do that, the more you'll see that you are the delight of His heart, and that He's looking to have that conversation with you all day long. Yeah, baby, just like that, sweeties. And as always, just keep nurturing the foundational principles, which are thanksgiving and service to others. So when you're thankful and you're looking to bless others more than anything else, then your sensitivity to God's communication is heightened. And then you'll start to see yourself in positions of bringing Him pleasure, bringing Him joy, because you're giving Him room within your spirit to be developed and nurtured and come to full fruition. And that will be your joy, and you won't worry about the the external things in your life, because your internal life will be buzzing with life. Oh yeah.